Hello and welcome to our ongoing series of conversations with people that are helping us navigate the complex world of the automotive industry. Extremely fortunate today to catch up with Jonathan Banks. He is VP of Vehicle Valuation and Analytics with J.D. Power. Jonathan, thank you so much for taking the time to chat.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So I wanted to talk to you, Jonathan, about some of the key trends that you're seeing and how it is that we can do a better job of doing these valuation analysis. And in particular, I know that there's interesting work that can be done with VIN numbers. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about how you're seeing the industry move and how that particular aspect of analytics is playing into the equation.
Yep. So one area in J.D. Power is the valuation services, which I lead. And what we've seen, especially in the used market, which is one of our core products, we do used car valuations. We've seen a shift in engagement from all different kinds of dealers in selling used cars. And part of that shift has been managing the inventory and understanding demand through utilizing online data. So when dealers are using online listing data to understand, what's the supply of a particular vehicle in my area, how quickly can I turn that vehicle, and basically stocking and understanding what consumers want. So one limitation that is very, very apparent now as the dealers move to more of online selling and buying and understanding that information that's inherent in that process is they're using a VIN to try to capture vehicle information. And the VIN, unfortunately, it doesn't give you as much information as you'd like to get. So for example, if you're out looking for a Toyota Camry, which tens of thousands of Toyota Camrys are sold every month. Using the VIN, you would only be able to say, well, this is a Toyota Camry and this has a 4-cylinder engine. But Toyota Camry has multiple trims, multiple options available on the vehicle, which require then the dealer interacting with the vehicle and kind of figuring out what exactly is on that vehicle. What we've done is we've taken that information that the dealer's gathering about the vehicle and putting it on its online listing to understand exactly what content is on the vehicle at the VIN level. So we're using information gathered by dealers or gathered by other resellers of the vehicle and capturing that data to understand at the VIN level exactly what's on that model. So what that does for us is a few things. It gives us precision on creating values that are specifically created for a vehicle and all the content on the vehicle and the trim and all those vehicle attributes that are otherwise missing from just using the VIN.
Very interesting. So how does that correlation, putting more meat on the bone, so to speak, at the VIN level, how is that being used by the dealer community or anybody else that's involved in the auto industry at this level?
Yeah, it's not used as much as it could be used, and that's one of the reasons why we think getting involved in this is really a game-changing type of utilization of data. Dealers right now are making decisions that are more general. So back to the Toyota Camry example, the dealer might figure out that a Toyota Camry LE maybe sells for $15,000 as a 3-year-old model. Now, and I can sell that Toyota Camry in 30 days, and people like black and silver and whatever, gray. Now the dealer can look at, I want the Toyota Camry LE, I want to make sure that it has this specific option content and the demand in my area improves my turn rate, so how many days it sits in my lot, by 10 days if I have this option, as well as this color. So I can get very precise on the inventory that I'm buying. So I can have an understanding of demand not only for the Toyota Camry, but for a specific Toyota Camry with these features. And it might differ from the dealer that is in LA, to the dealer in Florida, to the dealer in New York. For that particular model, there might be different demand for different content, based on some obvious ones are like sunroof or all-wheel drive,
Sure.
Where it's more related to climate. But there's also just preferences that just occur in different markets. So they can hone in on understanding how to manage their inventory at a much more granular level, much more precision.
I mean, it sounds like you're moving to provide the ammunition to be much more data-driven in how it is that you bring value to market as a dealer or anybody else that's in the industry. I guess the question is, how prepared is the market, dealers in particular, but anyone else, to really take that information and begin working with it? Are you seeing that this is a trend that the industry is ready to accept and act upon?
Yeah, that's the beauty of the solution is the industry has been moving towards selling more vehicles online, creating more web-based content that requires that sort of precision in descriptions. What we're doing is taking that precision and making it actionable in the sense that now we're assigning all the attributes of that vehicle from a content standpoint to the VIN. So it's really easy to access now. You just put in the VIN and you get all that information. And it's not only really great for the dealers in managing inventory. One of the big problems that manufacturers have is similar to the dealers. What inventory do I provide to my dealer right here in Tyson's Corner? So we have a VW dealer right down the street. There's a brand new Jetta that's out as a 2019 model. And they need to give the dealer the right mix of that vehicle to be able to satisfy the demand for this area. Now it's a new model, so there's some unknowns on what people are going to want. So the manufacturers have a challenge of what's the right mix that I give to this dealer to satisfy demand for the consumers in this area to optimize this brand new Jetta that I just built. I invested all this money and now I need to sell it and I want to get the right vehicles to the right place at the right time. So right now there's a lot of guesswork. And what this build data does is it takes away that guesswork, because now we have precision on, here's the VIN, here's all the content, here's how quickly this vehicle moves, here's how quickly the other vehicle moves with some different content. And over time, as you start to build this data, you can start creating, get into some of the analytics, and you could call it machine learning or whatever you want to call it. Whatever modeling you use, it could be very simple models, it could be very sophisticated models, where you can start learning of what vehicles sell in certain areas, what vehicles don't sell, what the difference is in margins, what the difference is in turn, and basically optimize the allocation of your vehicles as a manufacturer, optimize the inventory that you have at your dealership, so you're satisfying demand for your region, and that's both for the new and used market. And we just happen to be in a really cool position at J.D. Power because we have all that data to be able to provide that kind of insight. We have data on the new vehicle transactions, we have data on the used vehicle transactions, and now we're adding this build data that overlays all that transactional data that J.D. Power collects.
Very interesting. Very rich, right? It's a rich, a lot of texture that you're adding to it. And it seems like you only described just a handful of applications. So for regional planning, if you own multiple dealerships, but it works at the dealer level as well. Does it work at the sales level? In other words, who are the people, the actual individuals the personas, if you will, that can benefit and apply it? And let's work from high to low. So if we were working at a large dealership kind of an organization and maybe worked on, does it work all the way down to the sales level? That's
the beauty of it. I mean, you're really getting into identification of a specific vehicle with specific content and specific features. So you have a vehicle, if we use an economic term, that has a certain utility function. Mm-hmm. Now you can match that utility function with the needs of an individual consumer. Right? So ultimately what you're trying to get to is a one-to-one sale. Mm-hmm. You have a perfect vehicle for the consumer that has that perfect need for that vehicle. So obviously if you're able to create that kind of alignment between consumer and the product, you're able to get higher prices. So now that you could always scale that up in aggregate and make get a more general understanding of the market, but ultimately that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get to align the perfect car with the right person. Excellent. And this moves in that direction. Outstanding. All right. So how are you at J.D. Power making this service, this capacity, this new capability available to the market? So the first application, we have a B2B website that enables dealers and lenders, insurance companies, just any sort of business stakeholder. They can access vehicle value data through our website. Now when they go to the website, they'll be able to enter a VIN and get this content-rich data. So that's the first application. So it's more of just a research type of application. We're building a system to be able to distribute this data to a lot of third-party information providers. So one thing that we do here in the valuation services group is we provide a lot of data to a lot of different clients that provide different industry solutions. So our data is kind of the intel inside, so to speak, of different kind of product solutions that are out there in the industry, from inventory management, to insurance understanding total loss, to lenders writing loans. They use our data to figure out how much money to give you. This creates all that precision in all those different areas. So now when you go in and get a loan for a used car, right now the lenders, since they're not looking at the used car, they're just looking at a piece of paper. They might not loan on the actual content and features on that vehicle. Because they're not sure if they're actually on there because it's not in the VIN. Now, with this type of precision, they'll be able to lend the right amount to you, so otherwise the consumer's burdened with a higher payment. So this is what this application facilitates, like that kind of research. Driving that website is a huge database that essentially has all this VIN information available in such a way that we can start creating all kinds of more sophisticated analytic solutions because we have access to all this data. So virtually any question that anyone in the automotive industry needs to answer that necessitates getting down to that precision, down to the VIN, our data can facilitate. So there's all kinds of solutions that could be provided when you need that granularity in the data.
So the number of applications is going to continue to grow as people find new ways to leverage that. It's really two things, granularity and transparency. Am I capturing that correctly?
Yeah. Granularity and transparency, and to me, I keep using this word precision. Yeah. Some people are throwing out the word high fidelity, but I'm finding a hard time connecting the two because I just can't stop thinking of John Cusack. Yeah. But yeah, it's precision. So to me now, and precision without having to see the vehicle. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like ordering a diamond online. You're not going to just order a diamond online because it looks good. Mm-hmm. You're going to order it if it has a grade. Mm-hmm. And that grade is based on an expert evaluating that diamond. So you can trust that you're going to get a product that's in line with what the photos tell you. With this VIN data, it's the precision. Now you know exactly what the vehicle is and all the content available in that vehicle. So you have a perfect understanding of that vehicle, that vehicle's content.
So to find and learn more about this, they can go to jdbauer.com, go to the B2B site for valuation services. Am I capturing that correctly?
Yep, that's correct. It's nada.com/B2B, and right now it's only available for business applications. Obviously the businesses are going to cascade that to the consumers, but right now the information is provided on the business side right now.
Jonathan, what a pleasure. Thank you so much for helping us better understand the role of integrating other information around the VIN data set.
Yeah, thank you.